Okay, so I was going to make a very personal video about my life and where it's headed and what am I doing and all this stuff, but I'm going to stay away from that. I'm just going to approach it from one line that I heard in university and that kind of stuck with me throughout all the years. So it's basically the worst thing an artist can do is not do anything and worry about how much talent they have before they do something. And I follow it. I guess you could say I follow that line religiously, so it's not something I use all the time, but whenever I feel a bit stagnant, a little bit unproductive, I think about that line and it motivates me a little bit, but it doesn't get me all the way. And I think it's important to recognize that it's a nice sentiment, but it doesn't get you solutions. It doesn't actually bring any sort of finality to anything you do. And that's true of most proverbs and most sayings and most inspirational quotes. They don't really end anything. They don't really, cause some sort of, you know, large scale, results or anything like that. You always have to fight through everything, and it just keeps going on that way until you die, basically. There are people that are wildly successful, but I think the more successful you are, the more it comes into question about why you were that successful. Is it luck? Is it hard work? Is it both? You never know. And what's the ratio of hard work and luck, right? Who knows? The world is filled with so many different variables. It's hard to say which one is which. But anyway, I'll just leave it there. I do go back to that quote occasionally. I'm not going to worry about how much talent I have before I do things. That seems kind of silly. And these days, who has talent anyway? I mean, you see one YouTube video of somebody playing guitar, and then you see another person playing guitar, and it's just like everybody's playing guitars, and then it becomes, and I know this is not an excuse for not learning how to play the guitar, but after a while it just becomes kind of like bleh, like, everybody just knows how to play the guitar, end of story. I'm sure that happens with my videos as well, but we'll see how it goes. So today I want to talk about a YouTuber, Ethan Bishop, who, he has about 2,000 subscribers, and he made this video about antinatalism, and it's titled "The Number One Argument Against Antinatalism." So he kind of got me going for a bit because he was talking about the way in which life continues, and it made me think twice. So his main argument is basically there is no difference between continuing your life just by continuing living, or continuing your life through having kids, like just birthing kids and having that life continue. I think he's missing some obvious, not necessarily obvious, but he's missing some main points about having children. So number one, when you have kids, it's not like you die at birth. Like, when you have a kid, in most cases, the kid lives and you live. So there's two people now alive and two people suffering. Is it worse to have two people suffering as opposed to one? Well, I guess you would have to start making distinctions between individuals, and is that important? So, say for instance, the way we procreate now on the planet Earth, we've actually exponentially increased the population. So we have 8 billion people on the planet Earth. So is it worse that 8 billion people are suffering as opposed to one person? And is there a gradation? Is there any like light in between? So say 5 million people and one person, like, so how would you, instinctually, I would say it's worse to have more people suffering than, having less people suffering, because individuals do matter, right? So there's that point. There's also the point of, his second point was, if, continuing life as you are just going on with your own life is the same as continuing a life through birth, antinatalists should just kill themselves, because that's the same as telling people not to give birth. So if you kill yourself, you're stopping suffering, and it's like not giving birth, because apparently to Ethan, if every day you wake up is like giving birth, but it's so not, because you still have a lot of memories and a lot of pleasurable ones, bad ones. You still have those going forward every day when you wake up. And every day when you wake up, you're also giving consent to carrying on with your life, right? Someone who's just coming into the world, just as you did at one point, didn't have consent into coming into the world. So again, the individual choice matters and consent matters, right? So that's another difference. And the obvious thing is, if you killed yourself, it's not that easy. You can't go up to someone and say, the suffering will end in the world if you kill yourself. Well, it's definitely going to end for you, but it's not going to end for everyone else. And how is that person going to take that request from you or that demand to kill yourself? Like, it is a deeply difficult psychological thing to kill yourself, to even think about seriously going and killing yourself. People just don't want to do that, and most people would object to wanting to kill themselves. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing. As much as you're going to be around and you're going to, from a misanthropic view of antinatalism, you're going to cause a lot of suffering. You're already in existence, and it is difficult to kill yourself. Your very makeup, your genetic makeup, makes you want to survive. It makes you want to live on, and to go against that very basic drive is difficult. Now, mind you, there are people that do kill themselves, but we through suicide, but we also have government programs like euthanasia. So people do kill themselves, but even that is a very long, drawn-out process, and it involves a lot of suffering. So it's not easy to kill yourself. So all in all, the way we've been procreating on the planet Earth, we have aggregate suffering. We have a lot of people suffering. So birth is not necessarily one life ends and one life begins. Birth, as proven by the population of the Earth, is basically just a kind of exponential increase in the amount of people suffering on the planet Earth. So birth itself doesn't work that way. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Now, if you want to see the video, it's on Spiralvent. You can, it's the title of the video is the #1 argument against antinatalism. It's a YouTube video I took from YouTube and posted on my blog, by the way. And the blogger is Ethan Bishop. I should have had like fancy editing and inserted clips of him talking and stuff, but I don't have money and I don't have software to do that. So you're just going to have to deal with this. And again, sorry about my hissing and pops on this microphone. I can't stop doing it. But yeah, anyway, that's all. Bye.